What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Impact Intact. I'm Josh. That's CJ over there. And we are here for yet another episode. We're not celebrating love today. No love on this show. No. We celebrated a wedding on the last episode of this show. There is no love in this edition of Impact. Because we are heading to the UK for the first time ever, which I don't know why. Of course, they're always kind of in the impact zone, but I didn't realize that it was not until 2012 until this company went to the UK for the first time, like to broadcast, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had done tours of the UK, but they hadn't done TV from the UK. But we are heading to the UK, London.
Wembley Arena.
Yeah, London then. So that's where we're heading today, is to the UK for the first time ever in TNA television history. But first and foremost, before we, of course, get started here, it's now been 2 weeks since the last episode of Impact Intact. And sometimes in 2 weeks, a lot can fucking happen. I don't even remember. It's been over 2 weeks since we actually recorded, but it feels like a lifetime ago since the last time we did one of these episodes, even though it was only 2 weeks ago. But how I know you're going to say my sports teams suck, but how is life other than sports teams?
That solely affects how my life is doing. So, because I care about it too much, so it's not great. I am alone for 3 weeks. My girlfriend is in Africa right now.
Oh yeah, I remember that you saying that.
So yeah, it's really just me yelling at my TV and my dog's looking at me like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, like what's going on here? When did your girlfriend leave?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay, so you're like at the start of it. You're like at the start of
tonight is night number 2 as we record this.
So you're just in a house all on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
could be worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say could be worse. I guess I live alone, and listen, I don't hate it. Sometimes I don't love it, but there's sometimes.
Obviously, I love her, but it's nice to just chill for a little bit.
Yeah, you could just kind of.
If I want to wait an extra day to do the dishes, it's fine. You know?
Yeah, you can, because it's only you that's gonna have to do them. So it's only they only wait for you. So you can kind of do them whenever you want. I am in the last 2 weeks. I've
You want a nice little trip?
Oh yeah, I went to Melbourne. God, that feels like a lifetime ago too. Even though it was only a week and a bit ago. That was lovely. It was nice to get away for a few days and just not think about life at all. And then you come home and you're like, yay, life is still actually
Vacation
happening.
Is sometimes the worst because you're so pissed off when you come back. It's just like, fuck, that was so enjoyable.
And it was great because I got back. I went not. At the time of recording, it was like a couple of weeks ago at that stage. But I got back, and 2 days after I was back, I was like, all right, I'm getting back into the swing of things. And then what happened? My car wouldn't start. So I've been without a car for a few days. So I'm like, of course. Like, what else? I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, whatever. I just can't be bothered with any of it. So I'm just like, not even kind of thinking about it. You know, when you're like, maybe if I just don't think about it, the problem will just go away. That's not going to happen at all. But, you know, let's be naive. You know, it'll fix itself. It won't.
My dogs have decided now was a good time to lose their minds as well, so that's good.
Oh, of course.
11 o'clock.
Giddy's up there. If you can't see that lump, she's just sleeping.
She is, for people that haven't watched, she is doing better now, thankfully.
Oh yeah, she's all good now. Since
I think that might have happened after that. I don't think we recorded since that happened, did we?
No, we had recorded. Yeah, it was the week of that it happened. She was just starting to get a little bit better when we recorded last. But yeah, she's just up there. She'll probably be there for either the whole time or depending how long this show goes, she'll come at me and be like, I'd like some food. And I'd be like, you can wait. Oh yeah, I hear the dog.
Oh, it's an absolute disaster.
Yeah, I seen your eyes going. You're just like, please don't do this right now.
So the young one just doesn't know when the old one doesn't want to mess around.
How old is
she just gets yelled at? Like 14.
Oh yeah, at that age, dogs are just like, get away from me. They just
she just wants to lay there.
Yeah, which is valid, by the way. I also don't want to.
Please.
Please leave me alone. Let me
14
sleep.
and 1. I mean, they couldn't be more opposite ages for dogs.
Ugh, yikes! Yeah. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, it is all is happening. But this is the you're going to correct me on the date if I'm wrong, but the February 2nd, 2012 edition of TNA Impact, is that correct? I think I got it right for once. I usually always
think that's the first time you got it right.
Usually I just say some date and you're like, actually, it was this date. And I'm like, whatever. I just watched the show. But this
episode 11.
Well, this is 12 technically because you weren't here for one.
Sure.
So this is episode 12 of Impact Intact. But we are in the UK. Like I said, for the first time ever, TNA Impact Television is coming to you from the UK. I don't know exactly when this was taped to when it was aired, but I know that they said next week they're also in the UK as well. So I'm assuming they would have just done back-to-back nights of like a show and a show. That's how I would assume they would have done it. But I don't know. Maybe they were there. No, you can never assume with TNA. But which is, I was kind of looking into like, why did it take them this long to do television? I know like they're a 10-year-old company at this point, but I thought, UK is always a pretty hotbed for wrestling. And I don't know if you know this, but even in today's land with AEW, WWE is not really the number one company in the UK as opposed to like global television. Impact was always outdoing them in ratings and stuff like that. AEW constantly outdoes WWE in ratings in the UK. I just think it's always kind of been that way. They always just like the alternative brand for whatever reason.
Seems a very British thing.
Yeah, it's just different. But it just kind of surprised me that it took them as long as it did. I mean, 10 years isn't really that long in terms of everything, but I don't know, just something to think about. But I looked it up and I was like, wow, they're constantly just like doing pretty well. Like Impact almost TNA has had a bigger following in the UK than they did the US, which is weird. I don't know if it like statistically actually measures up that way, but you know what I mean? Like just in the general terms of things. But we kind of load into this TNA Impact from the Wembley Arena, and it's packed out. I think that place might be legitimately sold out.
Very close if it's not, yeah.
It's packed in there. It looks cool. I mean, it's nice and lively and stuff like that. I know WWE always kind of did 1 or 2 tapings at that time per year in the UK, usually at the O2 was where they were kind of running television and stuff like that. And they were always hot crowds. I think the UK have always been, pretty hot for wrestling because they don't get TV wrestling that often. Right. So I think, even when you think about WWE shows in your little like kid brain, when you're like, okay, yeah, they always kind of went a couple times a year. And it was always fun. Like those London shows were always, I think they used to do like London and then they'll do a Manchester show. Yeah,
they would. Yep.
One at the start of the year and one towards the back end of the year is when they used to kind of do it. But it's nice and packed in here. The crowd's nice and lively. But as we always do in this show, why don't you run us through the first segment of the night?
We have Bobby Roode. I get confused on when it's Bobby, when it's Robert. I think it's Bobby at this point.
Bobby, yeah.
Him and Bully Ray starting off the show. Excuse me. Bully, of course, has to go right after England immediately because they're in England. And then he says that he hopes everybody's not expecting to see Jeff Hardy tonight. I think we actually know the reason why.
Yeah.
But they, they can't say that, obviously. So he said it's because they took care of him last week's show. I assume they attacked him. We don't watch these chronologically, obviously.
No.
So I assume they just beat him down to probably write him off for this tour, which, if you know wrestling, you probably know why that is. And then Bobby says he loves being in Ireland or something like that. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Trying to get some heat. Oh, by the way, we should mention, but I don't know if you said this. I could have just not heard it, but Bobby Roode is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
World Champion.
Yes.
Yep. And then he calls out James Storm, who makes his way down. They come face to face, and then Sting comes in, Josh. Sting says he spoke to Jeff Hardy and says, don't worry, he'll be back at Against All Odds. And then it's announced that it's Bobby, Jeff, Sting, and James Storm for the TNA World title at Against All Odds.
Yeah, James Storm also made his way down to the ring and stuff like that as well.
Storm and him came face to face, and Sting kind of stopped it.
Gotcha. Sting is the TNA general manager of some kind, by the way, at this point. He's like Joker Sting, but he hasn't got any face paint on.
He's like serious Sting, but also Joker Sting.
Yeah, it was weird. But so there's going to be a fatal 4-way at Against All Odds. I don't know when he said that was, like in a few weeks.
3 weeks, I think.
Something like that. But so Bully and Bobby are friends, which again, I was watching at this time. I don't remember them being aligned.
Yeah.
Obviously, beer money was a thing with James Storm and Bobby Roode, but he had turned on him some point before this. And then Jeff Hardy's involved because he's Jeff Hardy. I mean, I don't know. For anyone that didn't want to read between the lines too, we won't go too far into this, but Jeff Hardy, I don't think was allowed in to travel internationally, or maybe that's more of an England law. I don't know, but
I bet it was just not in the US. I bet it was everywhere.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't know what was going on exactly in his history, but he probably had some charges against him in 2012 that didn't allow him to travel. But, smart way to write him off if they're going to be in the UK for the next 2 weeks. He's not on television. And at this point, Jeff Hardy was probably rocking and rolling in TNA of like doing pretty well.
He got a pop when Sting announced that match.
Yeah. They were like, hell yeah. Because I'm assuming those UK fans, for the most part, wrestling fans know that he won't be there. But, the casual doesn't know. They're like, I want to see Jeff Hardy.
Exactly.
So they don't get to see him, but whatever. But, a pretty standard opening segment. So there's going to be 2 matches tonight. It's going to be James Storm versus Bobby Roode, and then James Storm versus Bully Ray. Now, in my little mind, I was like, okay, cool. They're going to do Bully first, and then you fight the world champion at the end of the show.
How dare you think that?
But we'll see what happens a little later because it doesn't quite.
Spoiler alert.
Like well, actually, you spoiled it. I said, let's see what happens later.
Well,
you were the one who's
true.
Spoiler alert on you.
To be honest, we kind of tag team that spoiler. We kind of tag team.
But we'll talk about that when that first match happens a little later.
But we do have our opening contest of the evening. Samoa Joe and UK's own Magnus.
Yes.
Taking on Crimson and Matthew Morgan. A match that went 3 minutes, 56 seconds.
It felt longer than that. Yeah. There you go. So Samoa Joe and Magnus are the heels here, but obviously
Magnus is not a heel right now. Yeah.
And it's Samoa Joe too. So you're not going to cheer fucking Crimson and Matt Morgan. Did they mention? I could have heard this wrong, but I don't think I did. Did they mention they were the TNA World Tag Team Champions?
I think they did.
Where were their belts? They didn't come out with their belts. I don't know what happened.
Got stuck in customs.
I don't know, but they also mentioned that they were undefeated or something like that.
I think they said that as well. Yes.
I swear they said they were the undefeated TNA Tag Team Champions.
Yep, that sounds right.
They definitely did not. Unless I'm crazy, I didn't see their belts with them when they come out.
Not that I know of, unless they cut it for some reason.
But so. Explain to me the rules of this match because I got a little lost. I'm not gonna lie.
The rules of the match?
Yeah, because it was a weird match.
I didn't even notice. I thought it was just kind of everybody does whatever the fuck they want to do.
No, because they did like it was like the what's it called? They had they had to flip the coin in that, didn't they?
Did you watch it on YouTube or TNA Plus?
YouTube.
Yeah, see, we need to start watching things on the same thing because sometimes we talk about things that we don't remember.
Unless
the other didn't see it.
Was that? Let me see. Let me double check because I swear
we need to coordinate which one we watch it on next time.
It would be the same because it would just be the same video.
I don't remember that, honestly.
Unless that was later. No, that wasn't later. That was this match. Let me go.
I have a rundown of the match right now.
Let me look. Let me look. I'm gonna look in the actual video and I'm going to look. This is like live bullshit. We should say, by the way, before that match happened, Garrett Bischoff was on the phone.
We get into him.
So Garrett Bischoff was on the phone before that match as well, and he was like, because we'll get into the whole story of Garrett Bischoff and Eric Bischoff, but he did have that. Yeah, they had like a So they had like a coin. Yeah. This was as the match was starting. So there was like a coin flip to start the match because it was like one team would be in it all together at once. It would be one team that had no rules to follow and one team that had to tag in and out. So traditional tag rules.
Okay. I literally just thought of, you know what it is? Sometimes I fast forward through the entrance, so I might have just started seeing them wrestle. So I just put it back on. So
Crimson and Matt Morgan had to follow traditional tag rules, and Magnus and Samoa Joe. That's why they were in at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I think I might have just cut it right after that and started the match. So I just saw 2-on-1 beating down. I just thought, they're just doing whatever.
Yeah, no. So they flipped the coin, and Magnus and Samoa Joe won. I thought I wasn't going insane. So that's why. So one team had to do traditional rules, which in this case was Crimson and Matt Morgan, and Magnus and James Storm, Samoa Joe.
James Storm with the third match of the night.
Yeah, and Samoa Joe got to do like they didn't have any rules. They were in at the same time, so they could do what they want.
Okay.
But crowd was. They didn't care about Crimson and Matt Morgan. Let's put it that way. They definitely liked Magnus.
Not many crowds do, by the way.
No. By the way, I say this every time we see Magnus in 2012, 2011, this era. Dog shit bad. Horrible at wrestling.
Correct. Yes.
Horrible. Also, quite a considerable, not that he was small by any means, but smaller than he is when he last wrestled.
Even now, still.
Even now, you can tell. But like he was a lot a lot leaner. But still jacked and whatever, but could not wrestle to save his life.
It was not a great wrestler. And it's so weird that he turned into like the most decorated NWA world champion ever after that.
I mean, in that era.
But I mean, like statistically, he was though. But yeah,
sure. But
he's certainly better than he was here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Joe, same fucking Joe as
he's Joe.
And I mean that in the best way possible. But like, you know, crowd was
just fought for a world title last week of this recording, by the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, he actually did. But yeah, he was just fucking people up as he normally does. You know how Joe is. You can take us through the finish. There's not really much to write about this match, I can tell you that.
Matt Morgan went for a carbon footprint. Joe and Magnus dipped out of it, hit their finishers on him, and then a middle rope elbow for the 1, 2, 3.
See you later. And that was it. That was it.
No post-match shenanigans, which is TNA special these days.
No.
Let me get into the segment you teased here a little bit ago. Eric Bischoff and Garrett Bischoff, Josh. Why don't you start this one off?
Oh my! There's a whole story going in here. So obviously, if for anyone that didn't get that from the last names, Garrett Bischoff is Eric Bischoff's son. My son. But Eric. So Garrett. I don't even know how to explain this story. Eric fucking hates Garrett for some reason, but Garrett's been getting trained to be a professional wrestler by someone that they're alluding to. They're not sure who they're talking about.
They tease it quite a bit.
Eric, like, he keeps saying, like, you know, the person that's been training me and stuff like that. And Eric's like, he's not going to show up. He's the shit, whatever. And then Garrett, there's 2 segments with them. So forgive me if I get it mixed up. But does Garrett take a call in this segment, middle of this segment? Or
and then he says that his trainer actually reached out to him and that he wants to meet him later tonight.
Yes. And Eric's like, nah, he's not going to show up. You know, Eric Bischoff.
He's bullshit.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you. I ain't going to show up. By the way, Garrett Bischoff, those sideburns, even in 2012,
awful.
Gotta go. Just
horrendous.
They come down.
In the 80s, that shit would be garbage.
Well, that's true too. I was trying to look at Garrett and Eric, and I'm like, I obviously can tell they're father and son, but I don't think they look that much alike.
They don't, no. So if his name was fucking Garrett Engel, you would not really you wouldn't guess they were related, I would say.
No, you'd be like, I guess, but like maybe that's like his uncle or something. That's what I would guess.
I think because you know it's his son, you think they look somewhat alike, and that's the only reason.
Yeah, it's almost like my brain is just telling me that they look alike instead of actually looking at them and being like, do you guys look alike? I'm not really sure, but man, Garrett Bischoff had the charisma of a wet fart, didn't he? Wow. I mean, Eric,
he was not made for this business.
Eric has a certain cadence when he talks and stuff like that. It got better over time when he was first in. Oh God, it wasn't bad, but he just has like more experience, I guess, and stuff like that. Eric's not a I would say he's like an amazing promo, but Eric's okay. Like he gets by. Like he knows what he's kind of a passable, maybe a little bit better than passable, but Garrett just
horrendous.
I guess there's a reason that we don't talk about Garrett Bischoff in the professional wrestling industry in 2025. Let's put it that way. But it's not like his dad was a pro wrestler. It's not like it's in his blood to be a pro wrestler.
He's had a WrestleMania match, Josh. Let's have some respect here.
Has Eric wrestled at WrestleMania?
He got physical at WrestleMania.
I know he's had matches, but
they count everything. They counted The Rock beating Luke Harper and Eric Rowan as a match. I'm not.
Well, that was a match.
If you punch someone at WrestleMania, you're a match.
It was a match. It was 1, 2, 3. I don't think Eric's been in a match at WrestleMania. He has been in matches. He wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think
with his beautiful Taekwondo karate outfit that he wears.
You know how it goes down. But that was the premise.
Let's have some respect for the professional wrestler Eric Bischoff.
But Garrett says that the person who's been training him is going to be here later tonight. Unrelated, they also keep hyping that Hulk Hogan is going to make his TNA Impact return on this show. They keep hyping it. Unrelated, of course.
No, it has nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Obviously. Then we get our second match, Austin Aries. We always talk about why do you have to be such a piece of garbage.
What?
And he faced Mark Haskins in a match at 4:45.
Good fucking Lord. Okay, so first off, it was like I don't want to say it was an open challenge, but it was like a person from the UK.
You knew a UK talent was coming. Yeah, it's like one of those things.
Okay, what did you say the runtime of this was?
4:45.
Man, they packed in a lot of stuff in a 4:45.
I literally had, wow, what a fast-paced match was the first sentence I heard.
It was actually quite good. For a match of that length,
absolutely.
It was pretty damn good. Obviously, we're not going to talk about too much, but the finish, because he nearly died on the shooting star press.
My God. Yes, he did.
He did the Brock Lesnar thing.
I was going to just say it was Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle all over again. Yeah.
Holy shit. I was like watching this match. I'm like, God, what a good little match this is. Because they didn't stop. The bell rung and they just went for it. Again,
they probably were told, you have 5 minutes, do whatever the fuck you want. And they just went ape to the fucking wall.
And Austin Aries was probably like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry. Because again, we talk about Austin Aries all the time on this show. Why do you have to be the person you were? Because fucking Christ almighty, you are really good at this, and I hate it. So good. The way he wrestles, I'm like, holy shit.
The one thing I'm glad about is when we were watching him wrestle, we didn't that didn't happen yet, so we could enjoy it while it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was watching, Austin Aries was like my favorite person in TNA for a long time.
I'm glad that happened after his prime.
And then I'm like, okay, whatever. But
I'm not glad it happened at all. But
but you know what I mean. Like, at least it happened after where we can be like, whoa. And I wasn't a child. Also, I was an adult.
It's not. So. And this guy, he's way better than the guy I'm about to bring up. But it's almost like a reverse Logan Paul.
Yeah,
because how? And again, not. Logan Paul might be as good as he is this young, into the thing. But he was a piece of shit. So now we don't care about him anyway because he was a piece of shit before he was a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%. But man, if you want someone to have a good match in 5 minutes, in 2012, Austin Aries is your man. But yeah, they just went balls to the wall. 5 minutes, and but then that, oh my lordy lord, that shooting star. And then, by the way, just to really make sure that he was down and out, the most disgusting brain buster ever seen. He dropped him right on the high shoulders, but back of the neck.
Yeah, right.
And then got the 1, 2, 3, and whew, what a sprint! What a sprint! If you want to have 5 minutes on television and get yourself a nice match, that's the way to do it. Because I actually genuinely, really, really liked this match. Because I was watching it and I was like, good Lord, slow down, boys. And then the shooting star happened. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Maybe slow down, but don't break your neck and be paralyzed for the rest of your life.
It was really the exact.
It was the Brock Lesnar. Yeah, it was. Absolutely.
It really was just the Brock Lesnar shooting star press. And for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, WrestleMania 19, go and watch it because Brock and Kurt were having a masterpiece of a match, and then Brock nearly literally dies.
That was the most obvious, this guy's concussed you've ever seen.
I don't even know how
when he raised his hand, he was like, he looked like the fucking Undertaker. He was rolling his eyes back.
It was bad. But yeah, a good match for a very hot crowd who were weirdly enough, very pro Austin Aries against the guy that's
Right.
literally from.
It just shows how good Austin Aries was.
Oh, so good. Oh, he was the X Division champ, by the way. We should also know that. Yeah.
Yep. And then we get the older Bischoff here again. Him and Sting. He's screaming at his phone. Eric Bischoff. He's like looking for a ride or something.
He's saying a cab. A cab,
Yeah.
and they're like, and because they're in the UK, taxi.
Taxi.
So he's like a cab, a thing that takes you from one place to another. And then Sting comes out and he goes, Siri, cancel cab. I'm like, I don't think he was talking to Siri, but okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's what happened.
But Eric's trying to leave. He doesn't want to, even though he knows that the person that's training Garrett is not going to show up. He still doesn't want to take the risk, of meeting this person. So he's trying to get a taxi out of here. But Sting's like, fuck you, come back inside.
And then we get our next match. Bobby Roode, against James Storm, and James Storm's first match of the night, and a match that went 13 minutes 50 seconds.
So, alluding to this earlier, you thought it was going to go the other way around too, right? You thought it was going to be Bobby last and Bully first, because that would be the smart thing.
Well, we are talking about TNA, to be fair.
Yeah, I know, but even still, but I mean...
No, I thought, obviously.
I was like, okay. I mean, these two, though, they always have good matches together. For people that obviously don't know, Beer Money was a thing for a long time. They were a great tag team. One of the better tag teams of the late 2000s and into the early 2010s. They broke up and they had a series of really good matches against one another. And I thought this match was pretty good. I didn't realize, again, times are a weird thing in wrestling because it didn't feel like 13 minutes, but apparently it was 13 minutes or whatever you said.
Almost 14.
Almost 14 minutes. But you can take us through the finish and what you thought of the match and everything like that.
Bully Ray got involved a little bit and Storm went up for a last call, I believe it's called, right? And then Bobby hit him with a spear for the 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, Bully Ray just kind of planted James Storm with a rock bottom type of thing onto the title. And then Sting came down to stop any more damage from happening. Yeah, Sting was just saving everybody's ass today.
Sting was everywhere. He was canceling Siri calls and fucking doing all this and whatever. But obviously, we could talk more about this match properly at the end because it ties into stuff with the Bully Ray match.
There's only 2 more things in between too.
Yeah, so there's nothing too crazy, but still very, I don't know, just very, I understand why they did it this way in retro. You get to the end and you're like, okay, I understand. But it just seems weird to have your world champion first and have James Storm lose when he's got another match later. It just kind of
you just he's not gonna fucking win later. He just got his ass beat and then he got attacked after the match.
Yeah, whatever. But again, I thought this match was pretty good. The match was good. Yeah, nothing of it to sing home about, but it was pretty good. And one thing I think, again, like I said at the start, hot crowd. They were on everything. Right. They were loving it. I should also say throughout the show they had all of these weird segments where they were Jeremy Borash and Christy Hemme were talking to fans.
Oh yeah.
They weren't in the arena, I don't think, were they? They were somewhere else.
I want to say.
But the audio on it was so bad. Holy shit. The audio, I was like, oh my God, this is horrendous. Because they were just talking to fans being like, who are you excited to see? And whatever they were fucking asking. It doesn't matter. But the audio on it was horrible. It was peaking and it was quiet.
To fix that in post, by the way.
Yeah, what the hell? This is a tape show. You couldn't do something. It's a noise cancellation or something. It was 2012, not fucking 1964.
And we had Siri already. Come
exactly.
On.
It was not like there was
Siri couldn't have fixed it.
Some kind of program to fix that, but my God, I didn't even know what they were talking about. It didn't really matter anyway.
I just got a lot. After the first one, I was like, "This is unlistenable. I can't."
It's so bad audio. But I don't know where they were placed throughout the show somewhere, but whatever.
Yeah, just kind of scattered.
Yeah.
And we got our next match. Victoria, or called Tara here, one of my favorite women's wrestlers, and thanks for chiming me into some information the other day. She fought Gail Kim in a match that went just a couple of seconds, under 5 minutes.
One of my favorite women's wrestlers, and then something happened.
Josh informed me on some information.
No, I'm talking about Gail Kim in this instance, and she
both have some information that came out recently. So,
but anyway, two great wrestlers, I will say.
Yes,
Gail Kim titled up, one half of the Knockouts Tag Team Champions and the Knockouts Champion.
Strength and gold.
She was Knockouts Tag Team Champion with Madison Rayne.
Yeah, who comes out here during this match?
Again, don't remember these two. I was watching. I don't remember these two being aligned. I will say this might be a record here. I think there's only been one other time. There's been no beautiful people on this show.
No.
Beautiful people not on this show at all.
The show is ugly. Saying that.
Yeah, well, cleansing the world one ugly person at a time. I guess they
are in England.
Cleanse too much. Well, they would have had a fucking field day with that one. But but Madison Rayne with Gail Kim. So this is a very lol TNA thing. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought they showed last week on TNA that Tara won a number one contendership match against two other women. I think it was like Velvet Sky and someone. And then so in my brain, I was like, oh, so this is the title match against Gail Kim.
No.
And then she went over, everybody. Tara wins after like weird shenanigans that should have been a DQ because it was right in front of the referee.
I literally put for some reason the referee didn't call the DQ.
So Madison went to hit Tara and then Tara did the duck spot and she hit Gail. But the referee was like, okay.
Oh, that's your friend. You must not have meant it.
So then Tara did the Widow's Peak on Gail. But so in my brain, I don't know why. I just didn't listen, I guess. I was like, oh, we got a new Knockouts champion. And I'm like, what?
That would have made too much sense, Josh. Come on.
This match is happening at Against All Odds. So why the fuck are they running it now when Tara already won the number one contenders match last week? Unless it wasn't a number one contenders match and I'm making that up.
They absolutely said that on the broadcast.
That's what I thought. So I was like, in my brain, I'm like, oh, they did a title change in the UK. Something to be like, yeah, title change. But it wasn't a title change. She just beat her opponent that she's fighting for the title at Against All Odds, even though she's already earned that shot against Gail Kim. So she should be. Why does she need to beat Gail Kim again?
Got to beat her like 9 times.
It was just weird. They had an okay match. It wasn't. How long did you say it was?
4:57.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I thought it was fine. I don't really remember Gail and Tara working a lot in TNA. Obviously they did here, but I don't really remember like that being a big thing. I don't know if they ever worked in WWE against each other. It's possible.
I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
Not that I can. I mean, Gail really wasn't in WWE the first time round for that long, and then I think by the time she came back, Victoria was probably gone.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. I didn't like usually I love the Widow's Peak. I didn't like the way that this one looked. Something was janky about it, and I don't really know what to say, but just a very weird finish. And then I was confused because I'm like, I thought it was a new champion.
Yeah, they did say that. Number one contenders, they did. You're right.
Okay. I'm not wrong there. I thought I was going insane. I was like, what the hell?
I knew it wasn't for the title because they didn't say it was, but they absolutely did. Your logic makes more sense now that I think about it, yeah.
Because, like, why would we want to watch this match non-title and then in 3 weeks you're going to buy the pay-per-view to watch this match again?
What the fuck am I buying the pay-per-view for, man?
And not that I can tell you for sure, but my guess is that Gail probably retains the title in a few weeks' time because why would they have a bitch out twice? But, I mean, we might watch that show at some point, so I guess I won't know. But like, I would assume that Gail would probably beat Tara in a few weeks, which is just...
She did.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's just really fucking stupid that they did it this way. Or just don't run the match last week and have Tara beat Gail here. Then you're like, cool, whatever. Then that leads to her. But why have Tara wrestle a week ago for the number one contendership? Just makes no sense. But there's nothing really else to say in that segment because they brushed past that real fast. They're like, see ya.
Well, we had to get to the big reveal here, Josh. That's why. That's why we had to brush past that. God forbid we give a couple. I just want
to point out, still hyping up the TNA return of Hulk Hogan.
Well, it has nothing to do with this next segment, surely.
No, but I'm just saying they hype it up again.
No, but I'm just saying probably because it has nothing to do with this segment, so they just want you to know that.
They want you to remember. Yes.
Right. So Garrett said he's ready to have his trainers come speak with his father, Josh. Who comes down in the ring with Gunner, I believe. Is his name?
Yeah, Eric Bischoff comes down the ring with Gunner, which is what was his name in WWE?
That's why I was wondering. I don't. That's why I was sitting there thinking. I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up while you run down the match.
Well, not in the match.
Sorry, segment. I meant
Hulk Hogan interrupts Josh. There's his big return.
Jackson Riker.
Yeah, that's why I made a face. I was like, I know, not particularly not a great human being.
No. Well, they go along, and then Hulk Hogan comes out to. Holy shit, though, CJ, this was a.
Oh yeah, please. It always is.
This
always
place
is.
went. No, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't say the reason, but a big reason why that place is probably as sold out as it is.
Oh yeah.
It's probably because Hulk Hogan's there, because this is probably his first time in the UK in a hot minute, I would assume.
Oh, I would say so.
I don't think he was going over with the tours with WWE. I could be wrong, but but damn, that place went nuts. But like the whole segment, I was like, I looked at the time left that we had, like, you know, in the episode, and I'm like, well, they still got another match to do. I'm like, and they got this segment, and I was like, so it has to be Hulk Hogan, because they keep hyping up the fact that Hulk Hogan is going to return. What's the better way to do it? Have him as a surprise, or do you have to have Hogan on the ticket so then people buy the tickets to the event?
Have to. Well, if it's their first time in the UK, I don't think they needed to put Hulk Hogan on the ticket.
Well, no.
But obviously it doesn't hurt, I would assume.
No, it's not going to hurt if Hulk Hogan's on there in 2012. But it was like, even you were probably like, well, it's Hogan, right? Because you were watching the show, like, and you're just like, the way they're presenting this is that it's Hogan. But yeah, Hulk Hogan has been training Garrett Bischoff, so you know he's going to be a 5-star wrestler.
Great wrestler.
And then they come in, and Hogan and him are throwing fucking rights and going crazy. The shit out of Gunner. Yeah, they're beating the shit out of, which is whatever. That's fine by me. That's fine by me. Man, Jackson Riker, and he spelt it with an X.
With an X, yeah. Anyway, so they beat the shit out of Gunner.
Eric's like,
Eric gets the fuck out.
Yeah, Eric's like, no, how dare you? Yep. And then he's out of here, and Hogan and Garrett are like, yay. And then instead of grabbing a mic, you'd think, to talk to the live crowd, they're like, we're gonna hear exclusive comments. Yeah. We're gonna hear exclusive comments backstage right after this. I'm like, what? Because really, they were hyping up Hulk Hogan returning to the UK, and he was in front of that live crowd for about 2 minutes.
Let's say a minute and a half. Yeah.
So like, that's pretty. If you're just coming to that show to see Hulk Hogan, which probably for the most part isn't the case, but I'm sure there's some people there that's just like, I'm here to see Hulk Hogan, and that's it. And that was the time. That was the duration. That I'd be pissed. I'd be like, fucking hell. What a cop out. Whatever. I guess they were there the next night as well, or whenever they taped. Maybe they did back-to-back tapings. I don't know, but still very odd. And then they didn't have him talk on the mic, even just to do like the, hey, what you doing, bro? What did he say?
We're coming after you, brother.
Yeah, whatever the fuck he says, whatever his stick was. My son. That might be his son.
Your son.
Yeah, your son. And then you go straight pretty much into the backstage show, and they're like, blah, blah, blah.
You can run, but we're still coming after you, Eric.
Yeah, blah, blah, fucking blah, whatever. And, you know, we can't wait to see the in-ring debut of Garrett Bischoff, because we know that it's going to be something special.
Yeah. If Hulk Hogan's training him, he must
Have you ever seen Garrett Bischoff wrestle? You probably haven't.
I don't plan on it. No.
Well, we might have to watch it on this show at some stage. I don't think it's not like so bad that it's funny. It's just like a nothing burger. It's just like, okay.
Like boring and bad. Not the worst kind of bad.
Yeah, it's just boring. It's just like, whatever. Yeah. That's how I remember it anyway. But I mean, at one point in this thing, before this, he was a referee. And then they didn't know, they didn't reveal him to be Garrett Bischoff until like it all happened. And then at some point he's in Aces and Eights. So that all happens as well.
I remember that.
He was in Aces and Eights at some point. So, and that's like a year later. So it really takes a turn with Garrett Bischoff over the next year in TNA. But anyway, let's go to is there another backstage segment, or is it just main event? Yeah, main event.
James Storm and Bully Ray in a match that goes 14 minutes. James Storm's the second match of the evening.
Nearly 30 minutes of wrestling for Mr. Storm. Again,
this was just very much like ho-hum TNA main event.
that was a Bully Ray match if I've ever seen one, my friend.
Yeah,
Holy.
yes, exactly.
He again, this is just so backwards. This is backwards. Is it
The
not backwards?
earlier segment should have, if say the both segments went exactly how they actually went, the main event should have been the early match.
Yeah, and then you have like James Storm beat Bully, and you're like, oh, can he beat Bobby? And then he nearly beats him, and then Bobby beats him.
And that's where you have the heels go off into closing the show, standing tall.
Yeah, exactly, because you're building this 4-way, and obviously Jeff's not there. But they do bullshit like Bobby tries to get involved or something.
Sting comes down, he rushes off, and then Storm hits Bully Ray with the last shot for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then you just have like James Storm being like, "Yeah, I won.
Woohoo! I'm the face and I win. I'm a good guy."
After you lost earlier, it just seems. I don't know. Like you could beat Bully, but not the world champion. So what the fuck?
Yeah, so you're just shit.
You're just shitty. Why would you be?
And I accidentally spoiled the main event of Against All Odds for myself. If you would like to know who won that match,
I wouldn't. Just in case we ever watch it on this show, but I think I remember anyway. But still, just in case we ever watch it on this show, which I don't think we're going to be rushing to watch Against All Odds 2012. But you never know. You never know. So we might. But I actually this show, obviously, the reason that I picked this show is because it's the first one from the UK. Yeah. Like, I don't really remember too many. Obviously, the next week they're in the UK as well, but I don't really remember too many more impacts from the UK after this. I could be very wrong about that, but again, I tapped out of TNA not another year or so, and I'm like getting ready to get her out of TNA. So I don't really remember. But then they go through kind of company changes and that, and I don't think they do more.
TNA goes through company changes, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. They go through all different. At one point, they're a different fucking company, and they're literally called Global Force Wrestling. So Global Force Wrestling. Technically, that really can be covered on this show because it's fucking Global Force Wrestling Impact. Absolutely. Technically, but I don't think we'll be rushing to do that era of TNA. I can tell you that. But
son of a bitch.
Listen, this show had really the biggest thing that happened on this show was Hogan. Was him coming back to TNA. I don't know how long he was 65 gone 65 seconds. Yeah, literally. I don't know how long he was gone for at this time, but obviously, I think from my recollection, Hogan actually went and had one of his back surgeries during this time. So he had to be obviously off TV because you can't just have back surgery and then just be on TV the next week because he probably couldn't walk. So I think he was having back surgery, and that's how they. Like Bischoff had turned on him at some point because they were like business partners. Obviously, they went through all that stuff in which we've covered here. For somewhat. Before literally that whole bullshit. And then was
that our first episode? It was one of our firsts.
No, our first episode was the Monday Night War episode. And remember, they kept talking about a rundown. Eric Bischoff did.
Oh yeah, he kept having it in his hand.
It was weird because Hogan turned like face heel in one promo. It was really odd.
Our first episode was January 4th, 2010.
Yeah. That was like a different episode. That was the same episode as JWoww, wasn't it? the one where he gets clearing his throat.
No, that was earlier than that.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm very sure. It was.
I don't know. It doesn't matter, but
that's why I'm scrolling through. I'm not looking like at my phone, like texting. I'm literally scrolling through all my notes from every episode.
It could have been the first one. I don't know, but regardless, we've gone through some of that era. I'm sure we'll still cover more of it, but yeah,
it was October 14th, 2010.
That was the JWoww episode.
Was it?
Yep. Because it's a really bad episode because there's like 5 minutes of wrestling on it. Remember you?
I don't think it is.
No, October 14th, 2010 is the JWoww.
Okay. Well, no, I was missing. I thought you meant the one where she wrestled. Or whatever.
We haven't covered that episode, but...
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was when she just came out with she was the honorary Beautiful People member.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Where the fuck is Cookie? Where the fuck is Cookie? Where's this bitch Cookie? That was a great episode. For some reason, people really like that episode because it was fucking horrible, that episode of Impact. One of the worst wrestling shows I've ever watched, if you want to call it a wrestling show.
I would not call it that.
But yeah, I actually thought this episode with the crowd and that, and just the cool look of being in the UK, I actually thought it was actually okay. It was a better episode. A lot more wrestling I mean, there was 2 14-minute matches, which
With the
does
same
not
person
happen.
involved.
Yeah, and that does not happen on Impact episodes that we've watched, at least so far.
It doesn't even happen on pay-per-views a lot, Josh, with TNA.
No, it really doesn't. There's not like long matches. At least the ones we've covered. I mean, we haven't done that many episodes.
I'm sure there's some out there, obviously.
But ooh, my God, this was actually a wrestling heavy show.
Yeah.
And really, again, the match of the night was the 4-minute match with Austin Aries in it. So what the hell? Really weird stuff. But I thought it was a pretty good show, to be completely honest with you. I actually enjoyed it. I actually watched this one and I was like, this is a pretty good show. Probably mainly because the crowd was so into it. And we weren't in the
when the
fucking
crowd's
Impact
into it,
zone.
it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but you know, it makes up for a potential lack of a show.
Exactly. So, good stuff. And fuck that Tara Gail Kim match. That shit can fuck off. I hated that so much. Pissed me the fuck off.
I'm so the information that has came out about those two recently, it's kind of soured a couple things when I see these two on the screen.
But that'll do us for this episode of Impact Intact. Of course, you can follow CJ everywhere. You see it on the screen right there, or it's in the description box below where you can follow us. Of course, go and follow the Hive everywhere. We do a lot of cool stuff on the Hive. We do lots of watch parties. And
Josh just did one a few hours ago. He did pull double duty today as we're recording this.
Yeah. And this is recording just after Halloween Havoc. Me and Peggy. You can go back and watch it.
Look beautiful.
Thank you. I thought I looked good too.
No spoilers there.
No, I'll let you guys go and click on the video and go, oh my God. So you can go and watch that. Make sure to check out our pals at W Energy as well. You can use the code TheHive at w.gg for 10% off of your order. There's no jitters, there's no sugars, just clean energy. So you can keep yourself moving because it's getting towards the end of the year. You're getting into the silly season. It can be tiring. I don't hate Christmas, but I hate everything surrounding Christmas. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
The lead up to one day is absolute bullshit. But then the day is fine. I like Christmas Day.
And then you're poor as well.
Yeah, because you got to buy everyone presents.
It's a disaster.
Ugh. It's just gross. And everyone's just like on edge and there's lots of people everywhere and you're like, piss off. Get away from me. I don't want to.
And you just got done with Thanksgiving, it felt like.
Well, not here.
Here though. It's
but more importantly, the end of November is my birthday. So I just get done with my birthday.
42nd birthday.
Yeah, well, it feels like that. I can tell you that. I'm turning 20.
Yeah. Plus 10.
I'm turning 20 on the 20th.
I'm 2 months after you, same age.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a nice feeling, so don't worry. But actually, it's a great feeling to turn 20. I'm done with my teenage years. You know?
It's your 10th anniversary, your 20th birthday.
Sure. Whatever. Yeah. 100%. Actually, you're wrong. I'm turning 20. I'm actually 21. Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Whatever. I'll be truthful. I'm 21. Whatever. So it's, you need some energy. Go to w.gg, use the code TheHive, all one word, for 10% off of your order. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time here on Impact Intact to talk about something else. Probably Against All Odds 2012, right? Because we're all gearing up for that show. No, we're not going to do that at all. Make sure to go follow us everywhere. You have a good rest of your night, day, evening, wherever it is, wherever you are. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay pretty, stay safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks on Impact Intact. Goodbye.